Hello, good evening, and welcome back to the IRL F1 League here on the PS4. My name is Gareth Hall, and I am joined, as always, by my good friend Sab. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Tonight we're at Monaco. Does it need any more introduction than that? Probably the hardest track on the calendar, on the F1 calendar, and these guys, I'm sure, will be eager to probably get this one dispatched quite quickly because it's a Marmite circuit, isn't it? You either love it or you hate it. Like Foxy, who we often see absolutely hammering the time trial of this track. He particularly loves this track, and others like Sam, for example, last season, didn't he? He was very frustrated with how last season's F1 race turned out. He looked in pole position to win the race, but unfortunately it was snatched out of his hands by Scott Bugner in the end. So yes, Monaco, it's here and it's looking beautiful as ever as qualifying begins.
Yep, we are here in the Principality on the streets of Monte Carlo, and thank you very much for joining us here on a Monday evening. My name is Gareth, as always, joined by Sam, and we bring you live commentary of the PS4 F1 League here in Invictus Racing League, and we've already got a plethora of cars making their way out on circuit, the likes of the Racing Point you can see, and the Ferrari of Rimac, who's making his second appearance in the Scuderia Ferrari team, and he will be, of course, alongside Ferrari. Let's have a look. I'm trying to think who's joined him with Ferrari, because Warrisland made his way over to Red Bull to join Burmeister. So teams are all changing, and it's just taking a while to get used to it. But Rimac out on circuit, of course, he'll be looking to have a decent qualifying, like we saw from him a few rounds ago back in China, where he picked up his best qualifying results so far, where he started on the second row of the grid in 4th position. Of course, Sab, this is the most important qualifying session of the season.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Track position is king around here, isn't it? You want to try and find yourself as far near the front row as possible, and I'm just keeping an eye on board with last week's race winner, Harry BR25, and I have to say, Harry will be coming into this bouncing, I imagine, and really full of beans. He knows he had a tough fight last week, but unlike last season, where normally these 50-50 races went in the way of Gamer, this time it went in the way of Harry, and I'm sure he'll be coming into this hoping to try and build on that and really start to build a lead over Gamer.
Yeah, he's already on 59 points this season, so it's been a marked improvement from Harry BR25, last season's runner-up in the IRL F1 League. It was CRG Gamer that, of course, is the reigning champion, and here he is in second. It's a sizable gap. It's a 15-point advantage that Harry has, so that's a race wins advantage over Gamer. So what can the Williams driver do this time around? Monaco's not one of his favourites. It was, in fact, last season it was his worst performance with qualifying and race result. He only qualified in 10th position, finished in 7th. So Harry needs to step it up if he is to challenge here this week. But of course, Gamer, who missed the final round of last season, it's the first time we're going to get to see what the Mercedes can do out on circuit as Harry comes down through the chicane at turn 10 and turn 11. Now into the very fast to back at turn 12, into the swimming pool chicane. A quick flick left to right, and now into the final few corners. We're going to Raskas at turn 17. Anthony Nogues, the quick double right-hander at turn 18 and turn 19. DRS wide open for the Wims, comes up to the line. Bank lap for Harry. It's going to be on the 109s. It's a 109.051.
Not a bad bank lap there from Harry. He'll be pleased he managed to get round the track unscathed. We see a few other cars now starting to post time. Scott Bugner, Harry's teammate, there posts into second place with a 109.459, so 4 tenths down. But Cliffy we've spoke about quite a lot this season, haven't we? And he's up there in second place, 3 tenths down on Harry. I'm just riding on board with the Mercedes driver of CRG Gamer, and he's purple in sector 2. He's got a car ahead of him, I believe he's ahead of him. Shouldn't hold him up too much to get away nicely. No, TG Nathan is still going ahead of him. So it might have cost him a tenth to do that, just a bit of a distraction. But CRG Gamer is now coming across the line. What can he do? Fastest. Wow, that is a good first bank lap there for CRG Gamer. A 108.502, nearly half a second faster than Harry, and he slots himself to the top of the standings with 13 minutes left.
Quite an eye-opening time there from the Mercedes driver, really putting down a statement of intent to how fast he's going to be going tonight. tonight, he knows that he needs to start recovering some points on Harry in this championship lead. Of course, this is the final race of the first half of the season. We've completed 6 after this, which feels that the season has definitely been flying away from us, and then we will be heading for a week-long break before we go over to North America and to the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal for Canadian Grand Prix at round 7. So 2 weeks' time we'll be heading to Canada, but they first have to navigate their way around the streets of Monte Carlo. And the likes of gamer Harry Schofield, who's done a nice lap there for the position. Just Asas in 4th position, the Lithuanian, currently on the second rotor grid, has just had Andre in the McLaren drop into 5th place. A good lap there from Andre. As you say, Cliffy, very confident around this Monaco circuit. Maybe not the best banker lap at 109.330, but he's always there or thereabouts in the qualifying and the races. I say in qualifying. Qualifying's kind of been his crux recently. It's not been the best for Cliffy. We've seen he's already taken a pole position a few rounds ago back in China, but apart from that, he started outside of the top 14 on 3 separate occasions so far this season. So it is definitely something that we need the Racing Point driver to improve on if he is to be challenging towards the head of this field in this one.
Yeah, most definitely. We've spoken often about how he could be a potential title challenger against the likes of Gamer and Harry and anybody else right up there, but that qualifying just needs sorting, doesn't it? And especially tonight, as we were talking just a moment or two ago, that you got to get your qualifying right round here, otherwise you could find yourself stuck behind a much slower car ahead of you. So Cliffy will be eager to try and make sure he doesn't qualify at least outside the top 10 and put himself in a good stead for the race. But I'm just keeping an eye on Rimac now. Rimac's left it late to go for his first run of the night, and Rimac now on a hot lap on the soft tyres. It's be interesting to see what he can do in this Ferrari.
Yep, and in fact we'll check in with the Scotsman and we'll find out what Ryan is doing out on circuit. If there we go, we're allowed to do it now. And yeah, we'll go on board with our resident Scotsman and head for a flying wrap around this Monte Carlo circuit. It now comes into the Lowe's hairpin at turn 6. Of course, the famous hotel used to be just behind the hairpin. Down into Mirabeau Bass at turn 7 as you open onto the marine, or right onto the marina, right onto the edge of the sea wall as they go under the tunnel. It's much shorter than what it used to be, but now into Portier and through the tunnel and into the Nouvelle chicane, out of turn 10 and turn 11, heading down towards the very fast Tabac, kissing the inside line and kissing it too much. In fact, that's a full-on smooch there for Rimac as he clatters the outside wall. Tabac just took a little bit too much inside curb there, and unfortunately that will be another lap scrubbed off for the Ferrari driver.
Oh, he's lucky there. He didn't actually take a wheel off. How hard he hit that wall there. I was right on board with him, and he just clipped the inside at first, and it got him all out of shape then, and then clipped the outside. And luckily for him, it was just a front wing end plates that he lost. So luckily for Rimac, he can get back in and have another go. But it just shows you, doesn't it? This track, you get things millimetres wrong, and you find yourselves into those barriers. I'm just right on board with Scott Bugner now, and he's already come across traffic on his next flying lap, so that would have been a bit of a pain for him. They managed to get out of the way quickly for him, but I imagine it's not what he needed if he's going to try and pursue his teammate. He's just coming through the tunnel now, and I imagine Scott will be wanting to improve on that 109.4 bank lap and try and get as close to his teammate as possible, maybe to support or maybe just to even replicate what he did last season here in IRL F1 around this circuit.
Harry just coming up to the end of his second flying lap. He's only going a couple of hundredths of a second faster. It's not going to be enough to impose himself on Gamer. He's going to come up to line. DRS wide open for the Williams up to line. Can he get into the 108s? He does. It's a 108.825. However, still 0.3 of a second behind Gamer, who's invalidated his second flying lap, even though he was going over a tenth faster. Behind, we've got the likes of Scott Bugner, who is, as you say, caught up behind a little bit of traffic there. That's the Mercedes, a log shotter, I believe. believe, up in front of him. Scopefielder, he's not too far. He's just coming into Casino Square now at turn 3, at turn 4 as he exits Massenet down towards Casino and down towards Mirabeau out at turn 5. And this is the slowest part on the F1 calendar, almost down to 20 to 30 miles an hour. It feels like it takes forever to reel it in and exit out of that corner down towards Mirabeau Bass at turn 7, through Portier and now into the tunnel for Scopefielder. Of course, our Super Swede, the all-time win taker here in Invictus Racing League, not only on the PS4 but also on the PC, where he's doing very nicely indeed in the PC League, which you can tune into on a Wednesday evening now from Jakob, bringing you that on 8 PM on a Wednesday. If you don't want to see F3 or F4 on the PS4, well, you can tune into the PC F1 League with the likes of MJ Coop, who's made the jump over from PS4 to the PC, and then you've got the likes of Scopefielder and of course 3-time Performance League champion Skyzy. He is teaming up with Scopefielder, and Scope comes across the line, not improving, just marginally 0.03 of a second slower than his original lap. He's currently in 6th position, having dropped behind Scott Bugner.
Just keeping an eye on Foxy Red 2000. He had a bit of traffic. I believe it was the Red Bull of Warrisland. He just didn't get out of the way quick enough. Foxy Red then was a bit out of shape for the next 2 corners. He did improve, but I think he probably would have improved more. He probably lost about 3-4 tenths through that final sector there. He has improved up to 8th place with 109.6, but I can imagine he's not going to be too happy with that because he did look quick up until that point.
TTG Nathan. Oh, Nathan just, it looks as though he was really starting to hook up a lap there. Unfortunately, just kissed the inside curb at the exit of the swimming pool chicane and invalidates that lap. Had to make his way across the chicane and save himself from picking up any more damage than was necessary. So Nathan down in 14th position, and the Dutchman will be hoping improved, but just over 7 minutes left to go in this one. I'm sure we will see plenty more times set from all of the drivers, but thank you very much for joining us wherever you're watching this evening. Hopefully you have had a brilliant weekend and you're now ready for the week with some F1 action here on a Monday night. Make sure you press that like button if you haven't already. Really does help us out. If we could target, let's say 15 likes to start with, we'd love to hit 20, but if we can hit 15, that would be a massive help to us. It really helps us push the videos and get recommended through to new people, new subscribers. And of course, if you're not already subscribed, what are you doing? We know that 25% of the people that watch this channel are not subscribed. So make sure you press that subscribe button and ring the bell to be notified when all videos go live. So make sure you don't miss a minute of Invictus Racing as Rimac comes to the line, does set a time, and it's a 1:10.076 from the Ferrari, just outside of the top 10. And of course, we do know, Sab, although it's the most important qualifying session of the season, if you do start outside the top 10, 11th is the best place.
Oh yeah, it is definitely, and I'm just keeping an eye on CRG Gamer, and in the first sector he's gone purple again, so CRG Gamer looking to go even quicker now with that 108.502 as his banker. I've just noticed, I didn't realise that Cliffy slotted into second place with a 108.602, so nice lap there from Cliffy, but CRG Gamer at the moment coming through a tunnel, he's got a bit of traffic ahead of him. Hopefully they just get out of the way. It's a McLaren of Andre. Hopefully Andre just moves out of the way nicely there from Andre. No problems at all for Gamer. So Gamer coming around to the swimming pool section now. He's going quicker still. He's nearly 2 tenths up on his previous time. This car looks absolutely on rails right now. CRG Gamer absolutely electrifying. He's got his teammates ahead of him. This could cost him a bit, but he's also might get a bit of a tow. Logshotter right in front of him here. Does improve 108.318, but I imagine he probably didn't really want to see his teammate there on that final corner.
No, he may have just got away with it. Logshotter just giving him the slightest of toes down that main straight, but we saw last week where Logshotter tried to help out his team out in Sector 1 and unfortunately cost him about a second and a half in time. But yeah, the Mercedes team working together down that main straight and possibly just helping out a little bit more as Cliffy just kisses the outside wall at the exit to back, and he's already invalidated this lap here, so he's not going to be going any faster from this time around. Just Asas is currently just over 100th of a second slower than his best time. He's currently on a 108.658 in 3rd position, and the Lithuanian will be looking at another good qualifying position. We saw Just Asas do very well in France in the opening race of this season. His best result so far in qualifying has been 3rd position, so he's currently matching his best of the season. Unfortunately, invalidates in the swimming pool chicane section into the pit lane with 4 minutes left to go.
Just keeping an eye on log shotter. He has lost the entire front wing of that Mercedes. Just about to enter the swimming pool section, and clipped the wall. The whole front wing came off that car, and he's straight into pits. He was trying to beat his time of a 109.665, but car got all out of shape. And luckily for him, he was able to come back into the pits and go again. But the moment that car doesn't seem to be suiting Logshot at the moment. He's still inside that top 10, but only just.
Yep, his best qualifying so far this season is 7th place that he picked up in China a few weeks ago. Scott Bugner, unfortunately, picking up wing damage in Sector 1 on this run, so that's probably curtains for Scott for improving on this qualifying session. He's currently in 5th position, however, he's got the likes of Schofield, Sam Pepito, Foxy Red 2000, the Warrisland, the Sambam Kid, the likes of those that will be looking at going faster as we get an improvement from, I believe that was Nathan. It is Nathan. Down up into 9th position inside the top 10 for the McLaren. He'll be looking at an improvement. However, we've seen Nathan so far this season do very nicely indeed. Just needs to recover that form.
Yeah, we have indeed. He's looked pretty decent, and he's always there or thereabouts with his teammate as well. It's only a couple of tenths off Andre, or all the way around sometimes in different races. I'm just raised my eyebrows slightly because Sambam Kid is out on the track now on a lap, just about to start his flying lap. And he's all out of shape in the final corner, and he's on a set of medium tyres, which is a bit surprising, really, because I can't imagine he's really going to improve, because the way he started this lap wasn't too great, so be interested to see what he can do, if anything, on those medium tyres.
Yeah, and he'll be looking at... Oh, it's an alternative strategy. There's contact there between Foxy Red 2000 and the Haas of, I believe... Is that just ASAS or Sambam Kid? It's just ASAS. So contact between Foxy Red, just lost it on the exit of Casino Square, and unfortunately just slid into the side panel. Luckily for both drivers, they get away with it. However, does it hold up the likes of Sambam Kid behind? It looks as though Sam might have just about got away with it, but unfortunately there for Foxy, that was his last flying lap attempt. He's now down in 10th position and might be finishing outside of the top 10 in this one. There you go, invalidation for Sambam Kid on that at the Nouvelle Chicane. So unfortunately for Sam, he won't be going any faster on those medium compounder tyres. TL44S is on a flyer. We've also got Cliffy out on a flying lap, so we'll go on board with Cliffy as he ends his last lap. And we can see Racing Point, where have we got? We're down at the Nouvelle Chicane, and of course Cliffy, who's picked up some good results so far this season, even with his somewhat patchy qualifying. We've seen him pick up the race win back in China. He picked up a podium back at the Netherlands at Zandvoort in round 3. Can he get on the podium this time around? Well, it's not going to be on this lap. He's going markedly slower. Is he going to wind up for one final lap? It goes deep into the final corner, just about manages to keep it out of the Armco barrier. He's going to wind up for one final lap with 55 seconds left on the clock. Sab, who's going to take pole position?
It's hard to bet against CRG Gamer, isn't it? He's sat there comfortably at the moment with a 108.3, but Cliffy, he's looked really on it tonight, and if anybody's going to change him, it looks like it could be Cliffy. But at the moment, I'm going to go with CRG Gamer. I'm just keeping an eye on the Renault driver, Samu Pepito, at the moment. He's out there trying to improve, currently in 7th place.
It's not going to be Cliffy. He invalidates at turn 1 on his last flying lap, so Cliffy is currently in 2nd position. Harry has jumped up into 3rd position, which is a much better qualifying from the Williams driver compared to what we saw when he only picked up 7th last season. Of course, last season we completed the final round of the season, round 12 here, and it was won by Scott Bugner after a dramatic ending, which saw Sam Pepito, who we're on board with now, who's coming around. He's still slower than his previous time, a 109.052. Can Sam have a better 3rd sector? Gamer gets out of the way into the pit lane as Sam comes around the final corner. Anthony knows up to the line. Can the Renault improve on his time? He currently sits on a 109 and he stays on a 109. So the checker flag is out. CRG Gamer is currently leading the way. We've got Harry not going any faster. We've got Just Asas is on a flying lap, so the Lithuanian will be improving his time. He's the only one really, as Scott Bugner comes across the line in 6th position. Scopefielder is in 5th position. Everyone else is unable to improve unless we see something from Warris in 13th place. Burmeister is down in 16th as well. Both Red Bulls are yet to come across the line, so we'll stick with Just Asas. He's currently gone purple in the second sector. He's 0.2 of a second up on this lap. This is a really strong lap so far from the Haas, and he can get himself up possibly onto the front row. Gets it all out of shape on the exit of Raskas there. Has it cost him time? Up to the line comes the Haas driver over Just Asas, and he goes. Oh, he takes off. He lost about 1/10.5 in that final 2 corners for Just Asas, and unfortunately that keeps him in the second row, only up to 3rd position ahead of Harry, but crucially off of the front row where Cliffy and Gamer seem to have it all their own way. Cliffy unable to really take a go at Gamer's blistering 108.318, 0.3 of a second down for the Racing Point driver on a stunning lap from the Mercedes.
It really was a stunning lap, and I think the one he will be the only person I think celebrating that Just Asas 3rd place at the end there, because it puts an extra place between him and his title rival Harry's. But yeah, superb from Gamer tonight. He set the standard, didn't he, early on, and stayed there all the way through.
And there you go. CRG Gamer 62 takes pole position ahead of Cliffy 7765, who picks up his, or matches, I believe, his best qualifying results so far. Pole position he took in China. So, second best of the season for Cliffy. Just Asas in 3rd with Harry in 4th. Scopefielder in 5th with Scott Bugner 6th. Sam Pepito in 7th with Andre 8th. Nathan 9th with Foxy Red in 10th. And then outside of the top 10 in the all-important 11th position, you've got TL44S, then Logshotter, Warrislander and Burmeister as the Red Bulls lock out the final row on the grid. Not a great qualifying session for the Red Bull team. And just having a quick hark back to what happened last season here, Sab. We know it was, as I said, it was the final round of Season 10. The championship had all been wrapped up. It was Sam Pepito on pole position with Cliffy once again in 2nd position, like we see. It was rain, but the not enough to make the cars drive around on wet tyres. They were all on dry tyres, so it was very slippery at the start. However, off the line, Scott muscled his way past Cliffy at Casino Square, and then equally took the lead around the exit of Raskas around Sam Pepito on lap 10. It was an absolutely superb move from a very ballsy Scott Bugner. Rain stopped on lap 18 of 39, and it was the ending was, how should we say, marred by a bit of controversy. Sam Pepito was looking at picking up a tactical win, he'd said to us. He knew that he had a penalty advantage over Scott Bugner. He allowed fierce rival Hercules through. He allowed Cliffy through, tried to win on penalties. However, Hercules, a little bit of gamesmanship from the German, held up Sam Pepito, and he came across the line and missed the race win by 0.4 of a second. Gave Scott his first win in IRL F1 in over 20 races, and Carlos, or Sam Pepito, wasn't happy at all, was he, Sab?
No, he wasn't, but he was doing that to himself, really. The whole demise was down to himself there, and we've been saying it throughout this whole stream here. Track position is key. If you've got a 3-second advantage in terms of penalties over your rival or whoever is on the track, surely staying ahead of that person is better than being behind them, regardless of penalties or not, because you've got full advantage then. You could control the pace, you could control everything. It's all in your hands. The moment you are gifting positions to other drivers, then you are pretty much handing points, race victories, podiums, whatever, on a platter to that other person. And Sam is a lovely guy. I've got to speak to him several times on the podium, and I've seen great wins from him as well. But unfortunately, that was just a silly decision there from himself. And I think he'll be learning from that. And if anybody was to ever learn that track position is key, I highly recommend you go back and watch that race, because it was a superb race. Like you mentioned, Scott Bugner with some great overtakes, but it proved that if you give up track positions, you can cost yourself big time. And unfortunately, it bit Sam the hardest, and he will definitely not want to be doing that again, I'm sure.
Yeah. Absolutely so, and I'm sure he'll chastise us for that afterwards because he doesn't agree in the slightest. But that is how it ended, and make sure you go back and check it by going on the YouTube channel. Go back to the playlist, and you can find all of the races from last season. Pit stop strategy, well, it's going to be on one stop today, unless you want to find yourself back in the pack. Expect that one stop with the softs to last around about 12 laps or so before they come into the box. You can go on to a two stop, but as I say, you will be falling off into the back of the pack. And expect to see the likes of all these soft runners in anywhere from lap 12 to lap 20, and it is all depending on who wants to get an undercut, who thinks they can keep tyres, because you can find at Monaco tyres overheat somewhat, so it will all be up to who can keep it cleanest, who can keep it out of the wall, keep that front wing, and of course, Sab, who can keep these tyres working. And I'm sure you've got in front of you the tyres that everyone will be running tonight.
I have, and there'll be no wet tyres, I want to just let you know, because we are running a full dry race. So the guys obviously in the top 10 are all on the soft tyres, but outside the top 10 we've got a mixture of strategies going on here. TL4 the first one to say the pole position of outside the top 10, he's on a set of mediums, so expect him to run a bit longer and try and attack the likes of Foxford and Nathan ahead of him. Logshotter, the other Mercedes driver, on a set of softs, as well as Rimac on a set of softs in 15th place, but you've got Warrislander and Burmeister, both the Red Bull guys, in 13th and 14th on the mediums, but then Sambam Kid, who's unfortunately starts at the back in that Haas car, is on a set of hard tyres, so expect him to run really long into this race, and if he can make that work and then go on to a set of soft tyres at the end, expect him to be really quick at the end of this race.
Yep, the softs are the C5s, the mediums are the C4s, the hards are the C3s. The softs will do a time around about 0.6 of a second faster than the mediums and 1.8 seconds faster than the hards, so it will hurt you being on the hards, especially on heavy fuel at the start. What can CRG Gamer and Cliffy do off the line on these almost brand new spanking soft tyres? They've done about a lap and a half on them, and well, actually a little bit more than that, so I'm sure they'll be trying to nurse them to the end, and we will find out very, very shortly as the cars all migrate themselves into their grid slots and get ready for the IRL F1 League round 6 here at Monte Carlo. The streets of Monaco as they get ready to head off down to Saint-Devote. We've got 3, 4, 5 red lights. Gamer waiting on the limiter, launches off the line. Who gets a better start? It's the Mercedes that gets a really good run down towards Saint-Devote. Down the inside goes the Haas on Cliffy. Can the Cliffy hold on to position? Kisses the wall at Saint-Devote and just about manages to get away with it. We've not seen any change of position apart from Burmeister, who's made his way all the way up into 12th position, so it's a great start from both Red Bull cars who've have started to make some positions, but it is a brilliant start from CRG Gamer 62. He keeps the lead from pole.
Cliffy did well there. He bogged down a little bit. I was keeping an eye on him. He bogged down a little bit at the start and just managed to keep just ASAS behind. We've got a yellow flag in sector 2. I'm not sure what that is for. I haven't seen what it's for, but it's quickly gone away. But yeah, just ASAS, a better start, but unfortunately just couldn't get that position worked, and now be on the hunt to try and take on Cliffy. And I think CRG Game will be hoping, won't it, that these two could squabble for second place for a while and allow games to just run off into the distance. But Harry, just further back as well, he's onto the back of just ASAS in that Haas, and he'll be hoping to try and dispatch these two quite quickly to keep up with his title rival.
Yep, and so we will see. This is where tactics come into play. We know people say it's often a bit of a procession here at Monaco, but last time around, no one that started in their grid slot finished in the same position, so there were moves throughout the field. Scott Bugner hasn't had the best of starts. He's down in 6th position. He's also got a 15-second time penalty hanging over his head from transgression back at China when he was involved in a collision with Sambam Kid. So wherever Scott finishes, he will have 15 seconds added to his race time, and he I'm sure will be wanting to make some moves and help out his teammate Harry, who's currently off of the podium in 4th position, and it's not a great start for Harry. He's not been able to get ahead of just ASAS. San Fabito down in 9th, not had a good start at all. We've got a yellow in sector 2, is quickly being cleared, but the Renault San Pepito, of course, finished on the podium last time around, was just about caught out for the win, will be wanting of doing the same, but at the moment the Renault driver not enjoying himself, caught in the middle of this pack that's starting all the way from Cliffy all the way back down to San Pepito in 9th position.
Logshotter is becoming a cork in the bottle here for the guys outside of the top 10. TL44S is looking increasingly frustrated, being stuck behind that Mercedes of Logshotter. Logshotter already down 4 and a bit seconds to, I can't see who that is, sorry, Cliffy's into the pits. Cliffy's into the pits. What has happened there? Cliffy into the pits, and Cliffy's at the back of the grid. I didn't see what happened there. Did you catch that at all, Gareth?
No, but I'm guessing it's a front wing change for the Racing Point to come in this early onto the hard tyres. You wouldn't want to compromise yourself that much, but what it does do is promote Harry now up into 3rd position. So it's down the inside. There's contact between Logshotter and the Racing Point of TL44S as they go down towards Mirabeau and into the Lowe's hairpin. That's a deep lunge there. Silly lunge from Logshotter, and unfortunately he's pinned TL44S up against the wall, and that move was never ever going to happen. I'm sure the stewards will be wanting to take a look, and we've got a McLaren around pointing the wrong direction. That's TTG Nathan.
I honestly don't know what happened with Nathan there. I was riding on board with TL44S, and I have to say, that was very silly from Logshotter. He was clearly frustrated that TL44S had managed to get the move done on him, but Logshotter, it was never ever on to dive down inside there. That door was always going to be firmly shut, and I feel sorry for TL44S. He was looking the quicker of the drivers, and he was looking good for some points tonight, but unfortunately now finds himself stuck behind Sambam Kid on those hard tyres, and that could be increasingly frustrating for TL4 so he'll be hoping to try and get past Sambam Kid as soon as possible.
Yeah, Sambam is of course starting on those hard tyres. Cliffy into the pit once again, so the Racing Point making a 2nd pit stop in 2 laps. It's not been a good start for him whatsoever, and he's now going to fall into once again, he's going to have to go into a set of mediums. He will have used up his set of hards, so that will be it. Cliffy will now be locking himself into well, he's definitely going to have to do another stop after this, so unfortunately it's going to be a long evening for the Racing Point, not what he wanted at all. He'd been talking up throughout the week that he was enjoying Monaco and it's a track that he does well at, but unfortunately that's 2 pit stops in 4 laps for him, and it's allowed CRG Gamer to build a 1.6 second advantage at the front of just Asas Harry, who has got a 2.5 second gap between himself and Scopefielder, who's now starting to come under threat from Scott Bugner in 5th position. Scott needs to get past the Swede and start going up to help his teammate, and perhaps even back off the rest of this pack, and but Scopefielder is falling away as he looks in his mirrors instead of what's in front of him, and the Swede will have it pretty much a white and blue toothpaste tube behind him of Scott Bugner as the Williams hassles the rear end of that Alfa Romeo.
I am not envious of Scopefielder right now. I've had Scott Bugner in the past right behind me in Realistic Performance League, and he does everything possible to make your life uncomfortable when you're trying to defend against him. But Scopefielder, he's a multi-time champion, a multi-time winner. I'm sure he won't be fazed by the likes of Scott trying to press and Harry and everything else, as we see. Unfortunately, Cliffy's night has come to an end very early, and it just shows you what this track can do. You can practice, but if you just don't quite get it right early on, you can find yourself just in all sorts of mess, and unfortunately the Racing Point driver is out of the race, the first DNF of the evening. I just wanted to quickly look further ahead, and Harry's not really making any moves on Just Asas right now, but Just Asas is actually starting to slowly catch up with CRG Gamer. It was around 1.6, 1.5 seconds. It's dipped down to 1.3 seconds now, so Just Asas is starting to get his groove a bit more into this race, and Harry's still stuck there in about 7/10 of a second. Just Asas is all out of shape there, and just about held on to that Haas, and that will bring Harry back into the clutches of Just Asas. But Just Asas
sorry,
now.
it's that big crash here between, well, it was Warrislander, and Logshotter. Warrislander tried going up the inside, up the main straight through Beau Rivage into Massenet. Logshotter was not having any of it. They're tangled wheels, and he turned the Mercedes around going up the hill. Luckily for Warrislander, he's got away with it with just a slightly broken front left end plate. But yeah, you have to be incredibly safe for 2 drivers to go side by side up the hill into Massenet, and unfortunately for Logshotter, he had been turned around, and that might be a little bit of recompense there for these drivers drivers that have been following Logshotter after watching Logshotter pin the Racing Point up against the wall. You can see it was a little bit firm-handed from the Warrislander there, and the Red Bull driver, I'm sure, will get the ire of the Mercedes team, because that's will be Logshotter out of the points and down in 14th position now. Behind all of these cars are on harder tyres, but yeah, contact on lap 7 between the Mercedes and the Red Bull.
The one person who will have benefited from that is TL4 for us. He's back into his original position of 11th now, and he's starting to reel in the Burmeister in the Red Bull. But just further ahead, Rimac in 9th place is starting to fall away quite a bit from Sam Pitter, 14.5 seconds already behind Sam in 8th place. So Rimac doing what he can at the moment. I think it's a case of, if you can't, if you don't find yourself comfortable around this track, just make sure you get round it unscathed. And there we go, look at that. Just Asas in the 2nd position has just picked up a 3-second time penalty from all warnings. Now, I was watching Just Asas not long ago, and there was a couple of corners where he just pretty much jumped over the curve, so I'm not surprised he's picked up that time penalty, and he, hopefully, for his sake, will try and cut them out now, because he doesn't want to be picking up any more penalties. As you see Harry's sick to death of being stuck behind that Haas. Harry into the pits.
And yeah, it's undercut for Harry. He's decided to come in on lap 8. It's a very early stop for the Williams. We know that you can take the softs or well into the teens, but he's decided to come in early on lap 8 of 39 onto a set of mediums. He's going to try and run these mediums as long as possible. It's going to be, well, it's a big stint to do on those mediums, 31 laps. So let's see if he can get those comfortably. Foxy Red 2000, who called himself the King of Monaco just a few weeks ago, unfortunately he's found himself down in 6th position. Now Foxy is one of the winners we've had here in IRL F1 in Monaco. He picked up the win here back in Season 3, Round 5, back on F1 2017, when it was the Equal Performance F1 League. And he was a victor here in the McLaren. In fact, the last 2 times we've seen winners in F1 in Monaco have been by British teams. Of course, last time it was Williams with Scott Bugner last season, and before that it was the McLaren of Foxy Red 2000. And yeah, it's a race that we see chaos, we see overtakes, we see overtakes at positions that we don't usually expect to see. Diving at the last minute into the box comes Schofield and Scott Bugner as the top 4 all come in this time around, so all covering off Harry's earlier stop. Of course, Harry made that stop last lap around. Can he get this 1 lap jump on everyone? He comes around the final corner now. Anthony Nogues, can the Williams get the jump on everyone else? It's going to be close up the road. You can see Just Asas just coming out of the pit lane now. It's going to go side by side up the hill, but it looks as though positions are just going to hold, but Harry's going to get the run on him going in towards Massenet into Casino Square, but he's not going to be close enough to make a move, and he's going to have to hope that he gets these the mediums aren't up to temperature yet. Of course, it's going to take half a lap or so for Just Asas to get those mediums up to working temperature, but it looks as though the leading duo might have just covered off Harry's early stop.
It was just indeed, wasn't it? Wow, that was very close, and Harry can even see, right on board with Harry now, can even see CRG Gamers, so it almost worked for Harry, but it has reeled him in. Surprise leader, I didn't expect to say, but he's having a great race so far. It's Andre in the McLaren. Andre currently leading the race with Foxy Red not too far behind. Andre locking up there just before second last corner, and Andre now into the pits. I wouldn't be surprised to see Foxy. No, Foxy Red is carried on. So Foxy Red has carried on, and now Foxy Red is your new race leader. But yeah, I just want to point out that Andre is having a nice having a moment. But unfortunately for Andre, he must have picked up wing damage somewhere, having a longer pit stop than expected. Front wing change for him onto the medium tyres.
Yep, Andre, whose second race here in Invictus was here at Monaco last season. He picked up points. He was in 9th position in the end of that one, and he will be looking at picking up some more points. Just to note, Scopefielder and CRG Gamer onto the hard tyres, so they've gone for the harder compound compared to the medium runners, so they're going to look to use these tyres longer and later into the race. However, in the early stages, these mediums will be much faster. We know that they're 1.2 seconds faster a lap in the early phase. So that's why we see Just Asas and Harry all over the back end of the Mercedes. So it's going to be up to the following pair of the Haas and the Williams to get past Gamer. Is Gamer going to make that Mercedes as wide as the track is, and make sure that he takes every apex and doesn't allow any door to be opened as they come through the simple chicane at turn 13 and 14. It's now into Raskas and the you can see the top three all within half a second of each other as they come through the final corner. DRS will be open for Just Asas. He's getting a run on the Mercedes. Can he go up the inside? He's going to take a look. This is going to be brave. Down the inside, but he's going to go deep. Does he miss the wall? It's the undercut there for both Sergio Gamer and Harry. So Harry moves up into second position. Now he's on the back end of Gamer.
That was perfect pouncing, wasn't it, from Harry? He's seen the mistake from Just Asas running deep there, and he dived down that open door quite quickly. Harry now taking second place, and Harry will have seen that there's opportunities to be taken here. As Just Asas gives him a little nudge to remind Harry that he's still there, but Harry now got his tight rival firmly in his sights, but he doesn't want to be taking too much life out of these medium tyres too early. He wants to make sure he can look after them later on into this race, but Harry now in a really strong position here to really take it to his title rival. And CRG Gamer at the moment, I've noticed he's had a couple of lockups here and there, so maybe finding it a little bit uncomfortable at moments on those hard tyres, but the longer he goes into this race, those harder tyres will become more manageable and be able to look after him more. But at the moment, Harry is on the prowl. I would not be surprised if Harry in this next DRS phase tries something similar to Just Asas, but hopefully for his sake not run too deep into the first corner.
I don't want to curse him, because I know how much the commentators curse has definitely become a thing. But I would just like to mention, I don't often praise him. I often like to wind him up because he is very easy, and I get on very well with Harry. But this season he has been a much improved version from what we saw last season, where he was in the fight until round 6 and then just fell away towards the end. Harry this season very consistent, getting himself up the front, fighting with the Comrade Gaming driver of Sergio Gamer as Logshotter picks up 3 seconds. And yeah, it's been really good to see someone take the fight to Gamer. Gamer really stretched out an advantage, took an all-time record points haul in Invictus last season, 147 points. Harry just fell away, but this time around, Sab, so much better from the Williams driver.
Most definitely, and I think even Gamer would appreciate that Harry is taking the fight to him a bit more this season. I think Gamer, even though he will have enjoyed his successful title win last season, he wants a challenge. He wants to be tested around here and around the whole of the calendar. And what Harry's doing right now is certainly that. And at the moment, he's even closer. Gamer now. He's got a great opportunity to get him past there. Gamer took it to the inside. He's going to force Harry round the outside. That's nice defending there from Gamer. Gamer, like you said, making that Mercedes as wide as possible here. Harry cannot get past, but Harry, he doesn't want to be too eager, does he? He's having a good race right now. He's got past Just Asas. The last thing he wants to do is run deep or run into the back of Game and pick up any wing damage or pick up any time penalties. So Harry just needs to play this sensible here. He's got the opportunities here, but the problem is that Mercedes is so wide and this track is so narrow.
Yeah, and you can see the two different lines that Harry has taken. Gamer takes the ordinary line of missing that drain cover on the exit of Casino down towards on the hill down towards turn 5. Harry just hops over it, just decides to flatline that bit of the circuit. It doesn't decide to go around it. Gamer covering off any inside line. Thank you very much for joining, everyone. Hopefully you're all having a great Monday. This is a brilliant race so far. We see the trio battling for the lead of Sergio Gamer, Harry, BR25 and Just Asas. Just Asas will be looking at making a move. Just a few laps ago he went for a move for the lead. Unfortunately went deep into the first corner at Sandevot, allowed Gamer and Harry back through. The battle is continuing. But if you are joining us, make sure you drop into comments, say hi and give us a like. It really, really does help us out. Hopefully you're enjoying your evening here on a Monday night. My name is Gareth, and joined as always by Sab. But yeah, it is always great to hear from you guys, and let us know if you're enjoying it by dropping into the comments. And as Nathan picks up 3 seconds. He's down in 14th position, unfortunately, after that spin earlier on the just before the start of Portier at turn 8. And just Asas getting into the wall there at the Lowe's hairpin. That's cost him some time. He's now dropped 1.5 seconds behind Harry. If you're Harry, that's a little bit of a sigh of relief, I'm sure, because he now can purely focus on the Mercedes as they start to come up to some lap traffic up ahead of them. That's teammate for CRG Gamer, Logshotter. Logshotter, of course, who was involved in the incident earlier on with TL44S and then with Warislander, is going to be a little bit of a nuisance to Gamer, just getting in his eyesight just ahead of him.
Yeah, I can imagine. I'm looking further down, and similar issues what Harry's having with Gamer on those hard tyres is what Sam's having down in 7th place with Schofield. Schofield's not really enjoying these hard tyres at the moment. Foxy and Scott are ahead of him now, but Schofield are under all sorts of pressure here from Sam Pito here, and Sam now going to try and make a move on the Swede. Round the outside, not going to happen. He just tags the back of the Alfa Romeo into turn 1. He's literally pushing that Alfa Romeo up the circuit. Sam's going to try one round the outside. They tag. They touch wheels. Oh, wow. These two, I don't know how they've not, one of them gone into wall. And unfortunately, Schofield had to completely bail out of it because he looked like he was about to go into wall. These two side by side for so long. And unfortunately, Schofield is really not enjoying those hard tyres. And Sam, after bullying his way around the first few corners, has got his way into 6th place.
He has, and up ahead it was front wing damage, just managed to catch the onboard. Foxy Red 2000 just losing an end plate, so Sam Pito might start reeling in that Alfa Romeo in 5th position now as Logshotter picks up another 3-second time penalty. He's now as you can see, Just Ace starting to close back in after losing that time earlier on, as this battle is going to continue for the top 3. We're on lap 15 of 39. So much more racing this evening. Harry trying to find any opportunity going up the inside. Gamer very much closing the door, just jinking to the right hand side, trying to get in the mirrors of the Mercedes up ahead, but Gamer unturned and undisturbed by the swarming Williams behind him. I'm sure the Safina livery will be very much in his nightmares this evening if he continues to see Harry just moving from side to side, trying to find every opportunity, as Logshotter picking up another penalty. It's almost lap for lap now from the Mercedes. Unfortunately, not enjoying his evening here in the streets of Monte Carlo. But thank you everyone for joining us. My name is Gareth, and always joined by Sab, bringing you the 6th round of the IRL F1 League here on the PS4. The final race before the mid-season break, where we'll take a week-long break before we head over to North America and to the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal, Canada. So make sure you join us in 2 weeks for that. But of course, for the rest of the week, we've got plenty more racing here at Invictus. Safety car for Logshotter
is out. Yeah, Logshotter is out after the swimming pool. Sorry to interrupt you there, Gareth. The Mercedes was completely sideways, and his teammate CRG Gamer come across to him straight away. CRG Gamer into the pits. CRG Gamer's into the pits here. Harry has taken the lead of this race, and Just Asas also into the pits. Has Harry made a mistake here? Everybody at the front seems to be pitting in. CRG Gamer going on set of, oh, this is bad. CRG Gamer was held because of Foxy Red, and I believe it was Scott coming through. CRG Gamer was held much longer in his pit stop than anticipated there, and there's Just Asas. No, Just Asas is also being held. So a flurry of pit stop activity here, but has Harry made a mistake here staying out?
Well, I tell you what happened is it was a 5-second penalty for Harry and for Just Asas. Contact under the safety car. The Just Asas ran into the back of Harry, and of course, due to the reasoning for this game, we won't question it, but Harry picked up a 5-second penalty. Just Asas picked up a 5-second penalty. Just Asas just decided to serve that penalty in the pit lane. That's the reason why he managed to come out behind CRG Gamer 62. Also took front wing change as well. So Harry has decided to stay out on these medium tyres. He's now got Sam Pepito for company, and I'm sure Harry will be shaking, I think, is the term that we use when we're talking about Sam getting involved in a battle with some of his on track friends, because yeah, Sam is gonna want to pick up a good result this week, and he's going to be looking at eyeing up another, or possibly that win that he felt that he deserved last season. He's got to get past championship leader Harry BR25 to do so. He's got CRG Gamer 62 behind him. This is going to be exciting. Gamer goes on to the medium tyres. Foxy Red has jumped up past Just Asas into 4th position. So it's a fresh set of mediums for Foxy. Then you've got Just Asas on the set of hards. Sok Bugner, of course, sitting on that 15-second time penalty on a brand new set of hard tyres. Andre onto a set of mediums. Scopefielder and Burmeister on to fresh mediums and hards respectively. Rimac decided to come in, and so did Sam. Off on the hard tyres onto the mediums. This will take us to the end. We're halfway, or round about halfway through this one, and safety cars really spiced up this race.
It really has, and now Harry, this is going to be fascinating because Harry on 10-lap medium tyres, he's going to want to try and pull away as quick as possible from Sam. He doesn't want to be fighting Sam. He needs Sam to hold up Gamer for as long as possible here. But Gamer, like you've pointed out, on a brand new set of medium tyres, so envision Gamer's going to be quite quick around here. But could he find himself quite frustrated being stuck behind Sam, similar to what Harry was behind Gamer just a few laps ago? This is not an easy track to overtake as we've seen so far around here, but it is possible. Sam has proven that with the move on Schofield earlier on, but I honestly think, I could be wrong here, Harry could probably tell me later on that I'm wrong, but I honestly think Harry may have made a mistake here staying out. I'll soon see, but hopefully the safety car isn't out for much longer. It looks like we've just got a couple of cars, Sam Bamkin and TG Nathan, not too far behind the safety car, so hopefully maybe next lap we'll see the safety car come in.
I've been reliably informed that CRG Gamer broke his wing, picked up wing damage on the lap that the safety car came at, or the lap the safety car was deployed, so that is maybe a reason why he decided to come in as well. So Gamer into the box, front wing change, held as well in that stop, and of course was helped out by the fact that Just Asas had to serve a 5-second penalty and then take a wing change. That's the reason why the Haas has dropped down from 3rd to 5th position. Sam Pepito has made a stop on lap 10. He's stayed out. Harry, of course, is going to play the game of using track position, making people force their way past him if they are to take this win. He's going to go to the end on these tyres, you've got to think, because although we might see a safety car, you're going to think with the likes of Sergio Gamer and Just Asas and equally everyone else behind having made a stop, this is a big decision from the Williams. He's decided to really play his cards, and he showed his hand, and let's see if it works out for him. He will be, I'm sure, a little bit nervous, I can imagine, behind that wheel as he works out if he's made that right decision. He saw Gamer go into the box, he saw Just Asas just behind him go into the box, he stayed out. Will it work for the Williams driver? He's got the Renault of Sam Pito behind. CRG Gamer second in the championship behind Harry, is now in 3rd place, but now on a fresh set of the medium tyres. Foxy Red, who's made his way up into 4th position, so it's been a really good race so far for the Alfa Romeo. Up into 4th, safety car in this lap, so Harry will let that Mercedes safety car disappear off the road and into the pit lane, and we will be getting this race back underway very, very shortly. Harry now becomes the pace setter. He now lets everyone know when they can go. How late does he leave it? As he comes around, Raskas has got a 3-second penalty for Warris now. And does Harry drop the hammer? He does. Kicks the rear end out as they come around Anti-Nogues and down towards turn 1 as we're back underway. Back green here in Monte Carlo for the 6th round of the IRL F1 League here at Invictus Racing League. Up the hill, Harry, Sam, Gamer, Foxy, Just Asas all within eye shot as Rimac picks up 3 seconds going across the curbing at turn 1 at Sandevot. But Harry now, can he make a breakaway, get himself ahead of Sam? But Sam's got himself up into 2nd position. You're going to think he's going to want to hold on to this position. What can he do holding off Gamer?
That is a good question, and Foxy Red, I'm keeping an eye on him at the moment. I think he'll be rubbing his hands here. There's a potential podium place for him here, even a potential race win here for him. Who knows what's going to happen here, but Foxy Red also in a good position, sat not too far behind CRG Gamer, but CRG Gamer at the moment on those new medium tyres is pretty much pushing that Renault right now around the circuit. Sam trying to hang on to the back of Harry, but Harry slowly started to build the gap. It's up to 7/10 of a second already, and Harry will be eager to try and pull away as quick as possible. I just want to point out that just ASAS as well and Scott Bugner, both on those hard tyres, also doing not nicely so far in 5th and 6th place. And
yep, one lap after the safety car came in, and it's CRG Gamer that is starting to put the pressure on Sam Fitzo. But yep, thank you everyone for joining us. Let us know in the comments, who do you think is going to take this one? Will Harry be able to take it? Will it be Sam? Will it be Gamer? Will we see a shock come from elsewhere? We'll maybe even see a late safety car. Of course, if you do like it, make sure you press that like button. If you don't, let us know what you'd like to see. Always great to hear feedback from you guys. My name is Gareth Hall, and of course you can find me at GT2_driving on Twitter. You can find Saba at Alan Sabatino. We'll be covering the rest of the season, the final 6 rounds of the season here on a Monday night, IRL F1. We've got plenty more tracks from all over the globe coming up, from the likes of Canada, Belgium, Hungary, Azerbaijan, Russia, and of course finishing off in brutal style at the streets of very much the streets of Hanoi in Vietnam. So that's going to be a tasty end to this one. Front wing city, it's even more brutal than Monaco when it comes to breaking your front wing. But what can everyone do for the final 6 races of this one? Harry currently leading and taking more points away from CRG Gamer. DRS is now re-enabled after being disabled due to the safety car, and will Gamer be able to use it into effect to get past the Renault, because he's going to want to clear the Spaniard from Sam, the driver from Tenerife, who's made his return after a race out, and he's going to have his wits about him, because Gamer's going to be all over the back of him. You're going to think for the next few laps or so, of course, on fresher medium tyres. Can Gamer get past Foxy? Still looking very close. In fact, just gives the rear end of that Mercedes a kiss, just trying to find out what the inner workings of that Mercedes AMG F1 car is like. You can probably almost taste the oil that they use, of course, and as they get up close at the Lowe's hairpin, as they go down towards Novell, Harry starting to build a little bit of a gap as Sam tries to defend from Gamer.
Yeah, it's a bit to and fro, isn't it, right now? Harry gains a few tenths here, and then Sam comes back at him, but nothing really is working, I think, for Harry at the moment. I think the only thing Harry will have to hope for now is another safety car here to try and help him out so he doesn't lose too much time, because if he pits now, he's going to find himself pretty much at the back of the field here. So Harry, it's tough for him here. He's got to try and pull away as much as possible, but the likes of Sam, Gamer, Foxy, just ASAS even on those hard tyres, even Scott Bugner not too far away, are all within reach here. So Harry at the moment has just got to try and see this out, keep the cars behind for as long as possible. But I imagine CRG Gamer will be playing this cool right now. He knows he's on much fresher tyres than the guys ahead of him. He just doesn't want to do anything silly, does he? Want to run into the back of that Renault, just play it safe here. He knows surely these guys have got to come into the pits again. That we're on lap 23 now of 39, so surely those medium tyres can't go to the end on 15 laps, can they?
It's going to be fascinating to see how long Harry and Sam can keep up this pace, as Andre looking very racy behind Scott Bugner. Scott, having gone onto the hard tyres, has got the fresh mediums of Andre all over the back of him. Scott, of course, picked up his 13th win in IRL, the last race of the season. As he cuts the swimming pool chicane big time and takes a chunk out the front right end plate. Will he dive into the pit lane? No, stays with it. He knows that if he pits now, as you just alluded to, if you pit under green, that is it. You lose so much time. So he's going to have to brave it out, you imagine, for the final 15 laps. But that's going to really hurt him on lap time, and you're going to think he's going to almost become easy pickings for Andre if Andre can line him up into a good corner.
Yeah, I've just had a look at the front end of that Williams of Scott Bugner. There's no end plate whatsoever left on the right-hand side of that Williams. It's not even a little bit come off. The whole of the end plate has come off. That car will be an absolute nightmare to drive around here. And Andre now can smell blood. You can see the McLaren now will be trying his hardest to get past that Williams. And that Williams now looks a real dog to handle around this circuit. Scott Bugner now starting to slowly fall away from just ASIS, and him here we go. Andre down the inside. Can Andre get the move done? And Andre nicely gets the move done there. Scott Bugner just could not get anything done there in terms of defensive move. And Andre is having a nice race here. He recovered from that wing change earlier on and now up into 6th place on the medium tyres. The next guy ahead to attack is Just Asas in 5th.
Yep, a really, really good race so far for the McLaren of Andre. Behind, you can see TL44S is fighting off Scopefield of 8th and 9th position. CRG Gamer still trying to deal with Sam Pepito. They split by 0.2 of a second as around the outside goes Scopefielder into turn 1. TL44S picks up a 3-second time penalty, allowing Scopefielder to space, but brilliant move there from the Alfa Romeo around the outside into Sandevot up into 8th position. Great move there from the Alfa. Very, very strong indeed. Used those medium tyres to get past the hards of TL44S. And unfortunately, Tom now dropping down into 9th position. As unfortunately for TGG Nathan, it seems as though connection issues are very much hampering him this evening. He's not had a great evening after spinning just before Portier. And he's down in 14th position. We've lost Cliffy. Started on the front row, was looking very strong.
Oh, sorry. Nouvelle chicane. Just Asas has just clipped the inside, almost put it into the barrier. It opened the door wide open for Andre. Andre clean through, similar to what he did to Scott, but this was much easier. Just Asas was so lucky there. He clipped the inside. The car was pretty much sideways. Managed to get it stopped just before the barrier. He did pick up wing damage, and now he's into pit. So Just Asas, who was fighting for the race lead, finding himself now falling all the way down after that, and Andre now up into 5th place, 2.1 seconds behind Foxy. Andre on the hunt potentially for a podium tonight.
And Sam has been passed by Gamer just off screen as we caught up with what Just Asas was doing, and Sam manages to get around the outside of Sam as Sam Pepito is passed by Gamer into Sandevot once again around the outside. So now Harry is becoming a train of 4 cars, which is about to become 5 with the introduction of Andre. So Harry has now got to defend for his life for the final 13 laps of this one, and you're going to think that if you're Gamer, you are rubbing your hands together in delight as Ryan picks up a 5-second time penalty, crossing the white line on exit of the pit lane. But Gamer is going to be delighted with this. He's got 9 lap fresher tyres compared to Harry, and you can see so much more confidence through the corners. And into Raskas, Gamer's going to go to the outside. He's going to try and look for a way around Harry. Harry's now going to have to become the one that makes this Williams as wide as possible. Does Gamer deploy down the main straight? No, not yet. He's saving that battery and sits behind us. Andre goes fastest at 1:11.918, so the McLaren is on fire in this final third of the race. This Gamer trying to look to the back end of the Williams, the race leader of Harry BR25. This is your 2 championship protagonists of Harry BR25 leading the championship by 15 points. Gamer 62, last season's IRL F1 champion, is in 2nd position. He's currently 2nd in the championship, but they've got a big gap between themselves and 3rd place, which is currently the Alfa Romeo of Foxy Red 2000, who is in 4th position. So you've currently got 3 of the top 4. Three of the top 4 in the top 4. There we go. And it's currently Harry from Gamer, from Sam, from Foxy, from Andre. This is going to go right down to the wire. Harry has got to play a master stroke to take this win.
He really has. This is really mouth-watering stuff now. Sam Pepito started to slowly fall away from the battle at the front, and Foxy Red is rubbing his hands here, but Foxy Red is pulling along Andre, and Andre is in a really good position here, because if Sam and Harry both pit, Andre is looking set for a podium place here, and I think at the moment, don't want to give him commentator's curse, but Andre thoroughly deserves a podium if he could pick one up tonight. He's drove superbly, and you could see what the wing damage, by the way, has done to Scott Bugner behind. He's now 5.7 seconds behind Andre, and Andre only overtook him 3 laps ago, so just shows you what that wing damage can do. But CRG Gamer now playing it sensible, isn't it? It's just Asas goes quickest in us. Yeah, CRG Gamer's playing it sensible, isn't he now? He doesn't want anything stupid here. He doesn't want to pick up any wing damage. We've seen plenty of people do that so far. He's picked off Sam nicely. Now is the opportunity to pick off Harry coming out of the tunnel. Can he get the move done down the inside? No, it's very sensible stuff from Gamer here. As TG Nathan has retired from the session, I believe it was in the pit lane, so I don't think we'll be getting any safety car.
No, but Harry now starting to lock up into almost every heavy braking point now and starting to lose grip on those medium tyres. You can see Gamer looking so much more pacey. In fact, both lock up going into Raskas, and it's catching out Gamer. He realised that he's got so much more grip than the Williams ahead, but Harry getting a good launch out of Anthony Oakes at the final corner at turn 19 as they go down towards turn 1. He's going to have to do what he did to Samu and go around the outside into Sander Vaught, because Harry's doing a great job so far holding on to the lead of this one. They've currently got Sam Papito, Foxy Red and Andre all battling over the podium positions, and Gamer just taking a little bit of a respite here, dropped back to 0.6 of a second behind Harry, but a heavy lock up there into Mirabeau for Harry, as Just Asas retiring from the session. Unfortunate for Just Asas. He'd done so well earlier in this one, was running up in the top 3. It was Harry, Gamer and Just Asas. Unfortunately, as you say, clipping the wall at the Novell chicane. A very, very easy thing to do, just tagging that left rear tyre, and unfortunately that's the Haas out of the race, just leaving the second Haas of Sambam Kid, who's had a bit of a nothing race this evening. He's in the middle of nowhere in 10th position, picking up points, but maybe not the race that Sam was hoping for. He will be hoping at coming back in 2 weeks' time, getting us a little bit of maybe a recharge and a reset, and come back in Canada. Let's find out what happens with this lead battle going into the final 10 laps. As they come across the line to start 30 of 39, it's Harry from Gamer, from Sam, from Foxy, from Andre. Scott Buckner dropping time due to losing that front wing earlier on. He's now got Scopefielder for company, and Scope looking to get around him. And Scott unable to become a wingman for his teammate, who's desperately battling off Gamer, as Gamer looks to the inside, going down into Mirabeau, not able to get the move done. Sab, I can't call this one.
I can't either. I'd love to see the tyre life and see the tyre temperatures of Harry's car right now. It'd be absolutely fascinating to see. You keep pointing out the lockups and stuff, and that car must be absolutely awful to handle right now. And with the likes of Gamer pressing behind, and Sam, he's not too far away, is he, Sam? And Sam was getting dropped slightly by these two, but I think because Harry's tyres are so bad, it's allowing Sam to just keep on to front of these two. But Harry, what can he do here? We've got 9 laps. Can he make these tyres last 9 more laps? Surely not.
No, it's going to be fascinating to see what Harry can do, because if he gets passed by one, you're going to think that everyone else is going to want to have a piece of the Williams. So Harry's got to have his wits about him, because Sam, Foxy and Andre will all want to get past that Williams and have a sniff at a podium. But we've got your championship protagonists. Then Foxy Red, who's third in the championship in fourth. He's got to get past Sam Papito. And Sam Papito, who's currently got Foxy and Andre, who's having a brilliant race so far. His best race probably in Invictus, I'd say, so far. In 5th position and looking very well on for some good points here tonight, as Harry once again holds off Gamer down into the Lowe's hairpin. And he's now going to come through Portier. Gamer looking markedly closer this time around, just 0.2 of a second. In fact, this is the closest he's been through the exit of the tunnel. Is he going to think about a move into the Novell chicane? As Rymac unfortunately retires from the session, so Ryan outside of the points in 12th position, the Ferrari driver, calling it a day. Unfortunately for him, he looked like he'd had a good start to the race, but unfortunately deciding to call this one early. We'll see Rymac back on track on Thursday in the Realistic Performance League race. And yeah, if you haven't joined us for any of our Realistic Performance League races so far this season, I definitely suggest that you do this coming Thursday with Malk and Tim in the commentary box. It's a reverse grid from what we saw last week when they completed a full qualifying session. Every odd race is a full qualifying session, every even is a reverse grid, so watch out for YNWA Matty on pole in the McLaren alongside F2 championship leader Aaron S. He will be in 2nd position in the Racing Point. Cliffy, who's of course retired from this one, cried early on, he will be starting from 5th position in the Williams. Cliffy looking for the championship in performance this season as Harry goes deep on exit of the Lowe's hairpin. But yeah, that is the Realistic Performance League on a Thursday evening, 8 PM, so make sure you tune in for that one. Of course, Sunday is Xbox F1. They kick off the week's racing ahead of PS4 F1 as Gamer comes down towards the hairpin. Harry very smartly covering off the inside, locks all 4 tyres, just about holds on to it. Yeah, Monday is PS4 F1, Tuesday is Xbox and PS4 F2, and then of course Wednesday is PS4 F3 and F4, the PC F1 League, and then of course, as I was talking about, on Thursday you've got the Performance League. So plenty of action to sink your teeth into this week here, the streets of Monte Carlo. And Sab, Harry doing a brilliant job so far holding off Gamer.
He really is. I don't know how he's managing to keep those tyres last or even stay alive, but he's managing it. And I just wanted to just keep you updated what's going on just further down. Schofield just can't get past Scott Bugden right now. Schofield stuck about 7/10 of a second behind Scott Bugden in that Williams. Scott's managing to hold off the Alfa Romeo driver with that broken front wing. Schofield probably feeling a bit frustrated. He's not managed to dispatch that Williams car yet, but he's not under any pressure from behind. Teofilo Ferretti is 7.9 seconds behind in 8th place on 21-lap old hard tyres.
As Andre still at the back of this pack in 5th position. Had a brilliant race so far, has the McLaren driver. Started very well, found himself in 5th position as Harry and Gamer swap positions, and they go side by side around the Nova chicane. Harry holds on the position. Gamer used battery, and he just about managed to be held off by Harry. Just went back on board with the two as they were side by side, and Harry clawing to hold on to that position. Gamer had used his battery for the first time in quite a while on the exit of the tunnel, and this is where it's going to start to hurt. Harry is going to start to come under threat on every straight. You can look at the back end of that Williams. It just doesn't want to go in the right way. It's just all out of shape, and this is going to really, Gamer's eyes will be as wide as possible, looking for every open. For that, as he goes to the outside, can he go around the outside through Massenet into Casino? He is, and he's going to get the move done. What a move from the Mercedes there. Had to make the move, and he got it done there. Harry is going to be kicking himself because at the moment he's going to now come under threat from everyone else. You're going to think the Gamer's probably going to disappear off into the distance now, as down the inside goes Foxy Red into the Lowe's hairpin, getting past Sam Rapito. In fact, Sam is going to lose the position to Andre around the outside into Portier. Is there contact between the two? No. Good move there from Andre into Portier, gets up into 4th position. Foxy Red up into 3rd. Harry now dropping already 0.8 of a second behind Gamer.
Yeah, what a move that was from Gamer. You could tell he was getting pretty fed up being stuck behind that Williams, and look at it already, 1.5 seconds up the road already. It just shows you that Harry's tyres are pretty much done. They are done and dusted. I think what's done Harry some favours here is the fact that Foxy Red had to battle through Sam and lost a bit of time in that, but I imagine Foxy Red will be reeling that Williams quite quickly, and the job now for Harry is to hold on to 2nd place. Can he hold on to 2nd place? Because if he can, he won't have lost out too much a game, and will he? So for Harry now, job is to just hang on to 2nd place now. But Foxy Red and Andre are absolutely flying now, and they'll be smelling an opportunity to take that 2nd place from the Williams driver.
Yeah, of course. Harry and Sam were the only drivers to stay out on these medium tyres, and this is where you can see it's starting to hurt them. Harry is starting to come to threat from Foxy and Andre. Sam has been passed by both Foxy and Andre on the same lap, so you can see Foxy really starting to put the pressure on Harry. Harry knows that he needs to hold on to 2nd position to minimise that gap in the points that he's going to lose to Gamer, who's now 2.3 seconds up the road. But Harry is all out of shape. This car just does not want to work on these tyres. The tyres will be screaming out. He will be lucky to get to the end without any damage, because of course as soon as the tyre starts to delaminate, it will start to slide and you will find yourself pinned up against one of these unforgiving Armco barriers. So watch out for that. As you can see, Harry slowing down into Raskas. It's going to hopefully not catch out both the Alfa Romeo and the McLaren chasing behind. Andre is sniffing a debut podium here in IRL F1. He just needs to stick with Foxy Red 2000, who's looking on for another podium. Foxy's had a pretty decent season so far. He's in 2nd position in the championship, picked up a podium back at China. He's been in 4th position in France and in the Netherlands, and he's now looking at getting past Harry and picking up a 2nd place finish. His best result so far of the season.
It must be increasingly frustrated now for Foxy, knowing his opportunity to snatch second place here. Three laps to go, and look at Game already, nearly 4 seconds up the road. So it just shows you what those tyres of Harry were doing to Gamer. And when he was released, he was really released, and he's long gone down. Unless there is a mistake or a commentator's curse, I believe Sergi Gamer now will be winning this Monaco Grand Prix. I just want to give another quick update further down. Scott Bugner is still doing a nice job down in 6th place to hold off Schofield on those hard tyres with that front wing damage, but nothing really else further down the field is happening. Everybody's quite spread out and behaving nicely for once.
Yes, and they're all doing very nicely. We're currently down to 11 runners in this one. We've lost 5 cars from the race. Of course, we lost Cliffy very early on after a double pit stop in the opening 4 laps. As here comes Foxy up the hill using his battery. Doesn't able to find an opening to get a move done. This is going to go right down to the wire, and if you're just joining us, Harry is desperately trying to hold on to second position. He didn't come into the pits when everyone else did under the safety car, and Foxy Red 2000 has got 2.5 laps to make the move and take his best result of the season so far, second place. This is the Invictus Racing League IRL F1 League on the PS4. My name is Gareth Hall, joined by Alan Sabatino, otherwise known as Sab, bringing you all the action here from F1 on a Monday night. This is the battle for the podium with Harry, Foxy and Andre. Andre looking for a debut podium here in Invictus. Foxy Red looking for his best result of the season. Harry desperately trying to minimise the damage that will be caused by Gamer taking the win.
What do you think, Gareth? Can he hold on? That Williams car looks pretty much undrivable. I'm right on board with Foxy Red right now, and Harry, nearly out of every corner, that Williams is just squirming and just not wanting to behave whatsoever, and you can't blame it, can you, on those sides? But can Harry hang on to this second place? What, got 2 laps left? CRG Gamer is long gone into the distance. Harry just needs to make this car last and be as wide as possible. Can he do it?
Harry said after winning last week's race that he was sweating with that fight with CIG Gamer 62. Well, this time around, I think he's just going to be a puddle of goo sitting in that armchair in his room. He is desperately trying to hold off the challenge. Sam Brito, unfortunately, just unable to stay with this fight. He's falling off the back. He's currently 0.8 of a second behind Foxy Red 2000. I can't remember if I saw a penalty flash up for him. I'm going to have to we'll have to find out, because if that is the case, as deep goes Andre, just about manages to miss the back end. Don't mess it up now, Andre, because if one of the two ahead has got a penalty, I don't believe Harry's got one. Foxy, I can't remember if he does have one. I'm sure Sab can quickly check the race directory to find out, because it would be a first podium for Andre if it does happen, which might be the reason why Foxy is so desperately trying to get past the Williams. We're on the final lap of the race. CRG Gamer 62, who got ahead of Harry 5 laps ago, has checked out. He's now almost 8 seconds up the road. This fight is for second, third, fourth and fifth position. The Williams, the Alfa, the McLaren and the Renault all battling it out over 12, 10 and 8 points respectively, and Harry is going to be wanting to hold on to this championship lead. It was 15 points coming into this one. If he can hold on to the places, Foxy tries to go down the inside, doesn't quite get the move done. This is desperation now for both the Alfa Romeo and for the Williams. He knows that he's only really got one opportunity to do it, and that's going to be on the exit of the tunnel down towards the Novelle chicane, and this is the final opportunity for Foxy. Here we go, overtake button is on. He uses the last of this battery down towards the Novelle chicane. Is he close enough? Harry's going to cover the inside line. Foxy's going to have to stick with it. As Harry on cuts the Novelle chicane there. He cannot cut one more corner. He will be picking up a penalty if he does so. We've got just a few more corners left to go. We'll check in with your race leader. It's going to be the Comrade Gaming 62 as Andre picks up 3 seconds, but across the line comes Gamer. What a win from the Mercedes from pole. Manages to get back ahead of Harry, who is going to hold off the battle, and he's done so very well indeed. He comes across the line in second. Foxy Red 2000, he does. In fact, Harry picks up that 5-second time penalty, unserved, but I believe that will be rescinded after contact with Just ASAS under the safety car, so that may be rescinded. We will check, but I believe if all is correct, after seeing it myself, that will be a 5-second penalty rescinded, which will mean that Harry will finish in second, Foxy Red will finish in third, and unfortunately, Andre, with that last lap penalty, drops him behind San Pepito into 4th position. Scott Bugner in 6th, with Scopefielder in 7th. Couldn't quite get past the second Williams. So TL44S picking up points with that after that contact with Logshotter early on. Burmeister in 9th. Sam Bamkid in 10th, and unfortunately Warris will be outside of the points in 11th. And I can take a breath because that was breathless.
It really was, and huge congratulations to CRG Gamer there. It was a superb victory in the end for him. I feel a little frustrated and sorry for Andre, I have to say. He drove a superb race tonight, and if he had to picked up that penalty on the last lap, Sam wouldn't have pipped him on the line through penalties, and he would have got the maiden podium. But a superb drive overall for himself, and Foxy Red, I'm sure, will be absolutely delighted to come home there. He was a bit frustrated, I could tell, but stuck behind the back of that Williams car. But overall, to get a podium tonight from where he started on the grid as well, I think he'll be absolutely delighted with that.
Yeah, he will indeed. But Sergio Gamer, 62, very much the man of the moment once again, picks up his second win on the season, third, well, it could be the third win. There we go, second win on the season. Sorry, I was just checking my notes. He picked up a win back in Austria on round 2. He is your race winner. 11 seconds he managed to get ahead of. It's currently at Foxy Red 2000 and San Pepito in second and third, but we believe that Harry's 5 seconds will be rescinded due to the fact to the back of Harry under the safety car. 2003. Sam Pepito 4th. Then you got Scott Bugner in 6th, with Scopefielder 7th, TL44S 8th, with Burmeister in the points, and gets himself up. And I believe, if all things are correct, that is Burmeister picking up, or it's his second points paying position of the season. So 2 points there for Burmeister. So he now triples his points that he picked up last season. Yeah, he will finish in 9th, with Sam Bamkid final points paying position in 10th. Unfortunately, Warris landed the only driver to finish outside of the points. In 11th, we lost Rymac, Just Asas, Nathan Logshotter, and of course Cliffy very, very early on. And a stunning race from Gamer. He desperately had to claw back and get ahead of Harry. Did so in sensational style up the hill, and we are sure that Harry is going to have his 5-second penalty rescinded due to the fact that it was not his fault that he picked up the penalty. So it will promote him back up into second position. However, Sab, a brilliant race from not only Harry and Gamer but from everyone else. What a race!
It really was, and in the end it was a superb overtake, wasn't it, from Gamer? Coming out of turn 1, he got the move done superbly. No banging of wheels like we've seen. He got it around the outside. I think probably caught Harry out a bit. I don't think Harry quite expected that move to be done there. But yeah, that was a fantastic race. Like we've said, it often can be a procession around this circuit, can't it? But these guys put on a great show for us tonight. And I think that safety car just spiced it up a bit as well. And we ended up with a great close fight at the end. And we've got the podium guys into the chat room now. I'd just like to ask to make sure you've got all your voices to be allowed to be shared so everybody on the stream can hear you as well. And I'll move swiftly on to tonight's pole and race winner, CRG Gamer 62. Congratulations, mate. That was a superb victory from yourself. It must have been very frustrating, that second half of the race, being stuck behind the Williams of Harris so long on those really worn tyres, but you got the move done superbly, and once you got ahead of him there was no looking back.
No, yeah, I never make things easy for myself, do I? I went for the hard tyre, which I thought most others would do when I saw Harry pit quite early on. I thought he'd go hards, but he didn't. He went mediums, and then as I came out the pits after like 2 laps on the hards, I got damage, and I thought this is going to be hard now. And I was slowly running out of ERS trying to defend, and I knew that once I ran out, I wasn't going to keep the position. So as soon as the safety car came out, I thought I've really no option other to pit. Like I wasn't going to win from that position. So I'm quite thankful a lot of other people pit as well, because otherwise I'd have been a bit further back, and it definitely would have been harder. When I came out in P3, I thought it was definitely going to be a struggle to try and get through. Got past Samu. I can't remember where I got past him now. Down one of the straights. It's been too much of a blur, this race. Turn 1, yeah, that's it. And then once I got past him, I was like, right, Harry should be slightly easier because he won't have DRS or anything, but it definitely wasn't easier. I was holding my breath when I went on the outside, up the top of the hill, but yeah, once I got that done, I knew I could just calm down a bit and get to the end. And I also nearly got fast left at the end, but I was half a tenth off.
Well, that was a great effort from yourself, and a thoroughly deserved victory in the end. That persistence and patience paid off in the end. And I would like to move on to our second place, and that's Foxy Red 2000. Big congratulations to yourself tonight. That was a great race tonight. A great race, a lot similar to like Gamer of patience and picking your moments. And I seen you got the move done on Sam with Andre coming through swiftly. Was that the key moment for you yourself to get into the podium place tonight?
Yeah, definitely. I was following the Harry train, for quite a while, and I just knew that Samu was slow. He had old tyres, and I just had to get past him because I wanted that podium. So I noticed under braking into the hairpin, everyone was slower because we were braking early, and so I just thought, here's my moment, I'm going for it.
Yeah, well, it was a good move. You got your elbows out, but it worked out in the end. It's not a difficult track. It's not an easy track, I should say, to overtake around here. But you got the move done nicely, and a big congratulations to you for getting that done and getting onto the podium tonight. And moving on to Sam. Hi Sam, it was a difficult race for yourself. You and Harry, after safety car, and during the safety car period, decided not to come into the pits. You both stayed out on those medium tyres. How difficult was it towards the end of that race on those really worn medium tyres?
Yeah, it was horrible. Foxy and Gamer had such a pace advantage. I can say about 5 tenths or to 1 second faster. And I decided to pit because I pitted anyways pretty late. So yeah, I just decided to stay out because, well, track position is key here, I believe. And that was the key of the race, to be honest. And the move from Foxy. And yeah, just happy because of getting another podium, and yeah, just pretty much defending the whole race and keeping it clean.
Well, congratulations, mate. That is, you say it best. Keep it clean tonight, and you will score well. I just want to swiftly move back to our race winner. We have a week's break coming up, and then we're going off to North America, Canada. For the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. How are you around there, and is it just the case of same as tonight, trying to make sure you get ahead of Harry and hoping Harry has a tough race, or is it just a case of just focusing on your own thing and seeing what happens?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I always want to be as far as possible. The Harry definitely is obviously my main target at the moment, and make sure I finish ahead of him. I know last time we raced in Canada last season, it was really close between me and Hercules, I think. So it's definitely going to be a close one, and Canada often leads to quite close racing. So it'll be interesting to see what happens, and hopefully it's on the good side of my results.
Well, fingers crossed, Gareth. Going into Canada, we have pretty much similar to what we've had tonight. It looks like it's going to be a battle all the way to the end of the season between CRG Gamer and Harry. What do you think of the first half of this season as we go coming up to the break?
Yes, stunning race. Just like to obviously send my congratulations to everyone joining us this evening. Great race. Really, really enjoyed that one. And people often say that Monaco is one that they want to miss, but that is definitely a must-watch race. That was so much fun to watch. But yeah, thanks for joining us, lads. So you can shoot off if you wish. Of course, Harry, I believe we will confirm will be having his 5 seconds rescinded after just ASAS ran into the back of him during the safety car period. So that will promote him back up into second. So he still holds on to the championship lead. It's now back down to 12 points going into the gap. But yeah, it has been a brilliant first half to the season. This battle between CRG Gamer and Harry, we saw it last season in the first half of the season. It tailed off a little bit in the second half with Sam just disappearing a little bit. But we'll see if Harry can continue this form that he's been showing, because yeah, he's been in pretty exceptional form so far. He's picked up 3 wins, a second place, and some good results in 4th and 5th. So yeah, that's almost as good as you can do. You can't win them all, but yeah, it's been great fun covering it. We will be back in 2 weeks' time, as you say, in Canada, bringing you the IRL F1 League. But yeah, it really does help us out, guys, if you enjoyed that one, to give it a like tonight. As I said, would love to target 15, if not 20. That'd be very, very nice indeed. Just being cheeky and asking for you to just give a thumbs up on the race for us. Help us get it promoted out to the masses. But yeah, once again, massive congratulations to everyone that finished this one tonight. It's a very tricky race, and of course you can find much more of it throughout the week with the likes of F2 on the Xbox and the PS4 tomorrow on YouTube and on Twitch.tv. And on Wednesday you've got 3 leagues on YouTube. You've got F3, F4 and the PC F1 League. And then of course on Thursday, make sure you stay tuned for the reverse grid of the Performance League race. They will be back with Malcolm Tim in the commentary box for that one. But from myself, Gareth Hall, and from Alan Sabatino here from Monte Carlo, thank you very much for joining us. Make sure you join us in 2 weeks' time at the circuit Gilles Villeneuve and enjoy your week's racing watching Invictus Racing League. And of course, then in your week-long break, make sure you put your feet up, get some rest, because we've got 6 more rounds of absolute sumptuous action here on a Monday night. Stay tuned, plenty more to come.